Yeah, so okay, can I start? Everyone can listen me, right? Are you able
Yes,
to hear me? Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So today we are going to discuss about .NET and .NET frameworks and the difference between .NET Core and .NET framework. So the different versions of .NET Core that are available, and then we'll see the advantages of .NET Core. And these are the basic fundamentals that we'll look, and then we'll jump into a Visual Studio and we'll do the environmental setup and we'll see what all languages that we can use and what all the platform that we uh, have, and we'll create the first program, Hello World program, and we'll see what are using and namespaces. Okay, so you like stop me if you have any questions or queries. Okay,
Okay,
so yeah, what is .NET and .NET Framework? So .NET is a free and open source cross-platform programming framework. It is designed for building innovative device, clouds, and IoT applications that may perform on various operating platforms such as Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So .NET is basically a cross-platform tool that framework where we can create a different applications. Let it be like device, cloud, IoT, or any other application that we want to create, and that will be like cross-platform. We can deploy it on Windows, Linux, and macOS. But .NET Framework is a software framework for developing Windows application. Even we can create web application that include web-based application, form-based application, and web services. But the main difference is .NET Framework is widely used for Windows application only, for creating Windows based application. So if it is a web application also, that will be only deployed on Windows. So there are few changes we have to do, and then we can deploy it in like a Linux based machine. So that is the basic difference. And both supports like C Sharp, Visual Basic, FSharp, this programming language, both .NET Core as well as .NET Framework um, supports. Okay, so what are the difference between .NET Core and .NET Framework? So if we see this table, this shows the basic difference between the .NET Core and .NET Framework. So .NET Core nowadays till .NET 3 it was .NET Core. Later on that .NET 5 when it was released, it was named as .NET. We call it as .NET only. So after .NET 5 there is no concept of .NET Core and Framework. It is .NET only. So first version of .NET Core was released on 2016, and for .NET Framework 2022, and the last major version was on 2023, and um, the last major version was released for .NET Framework was 2016. So we can say .NET Core is a successor of .NET Framework. So why it is necessary like for Microsoft to release .NET is because .NET Framework was first released on 2022, and then after that, whatever new version was created, that should be created in such a way that the older application that were created with the older version of .NET framework, that should be compatible with the newer version. So uh, till 2016, the .NET framework was very bulky and heavy, and the performance was decreasing because it has to support all the older version that were released. So that's why .NET was written from scratch with its own runtime and all that is included, and it was very modular, and then it was released as open source. So on 2016 it was first released. So coming to ownership. So uh, .NET is an open source, but .NET framework is owned by Microsoft. So performance. So for the performance, when it come to performance, .NET and .NET frameworks differ significantly. This is partly because .NET is built on lightweight and efficient, with a smaller runtime and fewer dependencies. It has been optimized to meet the demands of cloud-based application, which often requires high level of scalability and performance. So all these are with .NET. Everywhere a new version of .NET is released with numerous performance improvement. They are related to different areas of code compilation, more effective memory management, improved algorithm for garbage collection, regex execution improvement, and other algorithms used by developers. So all these are with every release, we will get all these changes, and the performance will be improved. On the other hand, .NET, the updates for .NET frameworks include only security fixes. It was last update came on .NET 2016, that is .NET framework 4.6. So nowadays, if .NET frameworks updates comes, but that is only the security fixes will include. The deployment model. So .NET offers a highly adaptable deployment model. .NET uses its own web server called Kestrel. So we'll see what is a Kestrel when we look into that. .NET ASP.NET, then we'll see what is Kestrel. Kestrel is its own web server, hosted on like not hosted. It is available in Visual Studio only. When we'll run, we can use Kestrel to run that. So .NET uses its own web server called Kestrel, which is designed to be used with any other web server as a reverse proxy like IIS, Nginx, and Apache. In addition, .NET application could be easily hosted on Docker containers also. So as I said earlier, it is very much modular and it can be deployed on uh, like Windows, Linux. So also we can deploy it using Docker containers. So for .NET framework, we can only be deployed on Internet Information Server, that is IIS. The application's flexibility is severely limited since it must be deployed to operate on IIS and may not be compatible with other types of servers or hosting setups. So we are left with only one option with .NET framework, that is Windows IIS. Coming to compatibility, .NET framework is limited to running exclusively on Windows operating system, as I said earlier. However, it is highly compatible with wide range of third-party libraries and tools. On the other hand, .NET is a cross-platform framework that was designed to work on multiple operating systems, including Windows, Linux, Mac OS. .NET may not be compatible with all .NET frameworks, libraries, and tools, and some modification may need to be made to ensure the compatibility. So when we are using .NET, there are some versions of .NET framework libraries we cannot use it. Otherwise, like most of them now with .NET 8 release, we can use almost all of them. Till 3, 4, we can see there are some libraries that were not written to be used on .NET, that are from .NET framework, but now almost all of them we can use. Okay. So for support for WCF services. So .NET platform does not provide native support for creating WCF services. However, if client of your service requires SOAP protocol communication, you can utilize the open source core WCF project to build the WCF service via .NET. So there is a open source core WCF project that we can include to use to build WCF services in .NET. It is important to note that the core WCF offers only basic WCF features to ensure that it meets all your requirements. .NET Framework support WCF service and has support for REST services as well, although it does not offer much flexibility in designing or deploying microservices. So it has the support for REST services, but for when it comes to microservices, again, .NET is the like more flexible than .NET Framework. So when it comes to microservices, so support for microservices. .NET has a better support for microservices than .NET Framework. It is designed to be lightweighted and modular, making it ideal for building microservices-based application. It has built-in support for containerization and Kubernetes orchestration, which make it easier to deploy and manage microservices in distributed environment. So .NET has all these supports like containerization and Kubernetes orchestration, which make it as the best choice for microservices. But .NET Framework does not have the same level of support for microservices. While it can support microservices, it might demand the use of extra tools and frameworks to attain the same degree of flexibility and scalability as .NET. So these are the limitations of .NET Framework for creating microservices. Okay, before moving forward, do you have any queries or anything? Anyone can answer that?
No. No.
So coming to security, um, both .NET and .NET Framework place a strong emphasis on security. It is crucial to acknowledge their um, abilities in terms of supported security features. The .NET frameworks maintain compatibility with old legacy security features, while these features may still be effective. They may lack the incorporation of latest advancement and contemporary security measures found in .NET. So .NET framework has to uh, have all the security features that was available on the older versions also, but that is not like applied to .NET. The .NET, on the other hand, being a newer and open source platform, it is built on current security principles and include robust security enhancement. Features like role-based access control, data encryption, support for SSL, TLS protocol ensure that application built on .NET are safeguarded against potential threats. So these features like access control, role-based access control, data encryption, all these security features are available in .NET. Coming to mobile development. So when it comes to mobile development, .NET is the favored choice since it empowers the creation of cross-platform mobile apps, employing framework such as Xamarin, allowing developers to write code once and distribute it on the various platforms such as Android and iOS. So we'll see what all like a platform um, .NET supports nowadays. So when we'll come to like on Visual Studio, we can see all the templates that are available for different platforms. Okay, since so when it comes to .NET Framework is designed exclusively for Windows. It cannot facilitate mobile development. So it is only for iOS. So application types. Both .NET and .NET Framework support a variety of application types, including console, desktop, and web application. But .NET extend its array of benefits to encompass the development of mobile native application and microservices. So there are some extra features that are required nowadays. So those can be created using .NET. So these are the difference between .NET Core and .NET Framework. So there are still some similarities that will look like, even though they have plenty of differences, they do share some similarities as well. They both are Windows-based operating system. They provide access to .NET standard libraries, which defines a set of APIs that are common across all .NET implementation. Both provide significant object-oriented programming support and share concepts such as base classes libraries. So the libraries that are used, both are like the libraries can be used both in .NET Framework and .NET Core. So these are some similarities of .NET and .NET framework. So when it comes to interview, there are few questions that I'll discuss, which like is more crucial. So these are like difference, and the advantage is more asked in interviews for .NET. What are the advantages? So coming to that, like there are when it comes to interview, they even ask when to choose .NET and when to choose .NET framework. So in all of the scenarios, like for recent development, we'll go with .NET only. So and for .NET framework, we can use .NET framework if um, the application was already created on .NET framework, then we continue using that. So where that is where we are using .NET framework. Otherwise, for newer application we are creating, we'll go with .NET only. So, if an application is already written in .NET framework, migrating it to newer technologies like .NET may be difficult and time-consuming takes task due to a large amount of code. In such an instance, you can continue using .NET framework. So this is the area we can use .NET framework, and to keep it up to date with latest security patches and upgrades to retain its security and functioning. So there we'll use .NET framework. So not all technologies support by .NET frameworks are available in .NET. Some example of such technologies include MSMQ and ASP.NET Waveforms and Workflow Foundation. So these are some of the technologies that are not available in .NET. But there are alternatives available for this, and these are like these technologies are considered outdated and are not likely receive further updates. So if if we still want to use those technologies, then we can go with .NET framework. Otherwise, .NET is the best choice. So when we can choose .NET is um, it's geared for performance and make it an excellent choice for developing apps that must process massive volumes of data or manage high levels of traffic. So if you are working on microservices-based solution in which individual services are built and delivered independently, .NET is an excellent choice. Because of its lightweight and flexible architecture, you can build small targeted services that can be scaled independently. So that is what microservices, we can create different APIs, minimal APIs, and then deploy it, making it very smaller application and then deploy it and combining it to use as a single application. .NET is highly compatible with containers, making it ideal for deploying cross-platform server application to Docker containers. So some developers favor working with lightweight editors and command line interface. .NET offers a CLI for all supported platform. CLI is command line interface that necessitates minimal installation and production machine. Developer can always switch to more comprehensive IDs like Visual Studio ID if needed. So we have .NET Visual Studio uh, and Visual Studio Code for like IDs that like anyone can use to create applications on .NET. So we'll see those like the Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code. So what are the advantages of .NET Core? So this is the very important question respect to like interviews. So this, if we are going for an .NET Core interview, then definitely these will be the important question. Advantages of .NET Core. So .NET Core is a cross-platform open source and we widely used programming language. matured framework and widely used programming language. Supports a wide range of application type. It increased securities with .NET Core. It is more flexible and cost effective, and it has a large community, and it is created by Microsoft, and the .NET Core enables top app performance. So the performance is very much improved with the same level of server, same size of server. If you are using, the performance will be very high on .NET. If you'll use .NET Core. So coming to cross-platform, .NET Core allows you to build application that runs on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. We have seen this earlier also. This flexibility enables you to adapt to changing market needs to optimize your infrastructure cost. So you can develop on multiple platform, including Linux, Mac, and Windows. So if you are on Linux or Mac, you can use Visual Studio Code that I was talking about, and there's also Visual Studio for Mac or building .NET Core and Xamarin-based application. So even Microsoft share this or has already developed this IDs for that can be worked on different OS like Linux and Mac. So there is also a Visual Studio for Mac. We'll see and provide you the links that you need to download Visual Studio, where you can go ahead and create the code, and we'll see that. You can deploy to Windows, Linux, or Mac. Coming to deployment also, it supports like different platforms, and more distribution are coming online with every release, plus additional versions. Containerization also simplifies deployment, because once you have it working on development machine in the containers, you don't have to worry about environmental configuration or deployment process to move it to integration and production. You can simply move the container. Containerization support include Docker. Kubernetes is built in Visual Studio. So the Docker and Kubernetes supports is already comes with Visual Studio. .NET is an open source. So .NET Core is open source, which means anyone can use it easily. It fosters community collaboration, rapid bug fixes, and continuous improvement. So the most important part is there are over 30,000 contributors that are there, and uh, that were non-Microsoft employees, and 3,000 companies are there that are supporting .NET Core. And this is really helping driving adoption and traditionally non-Microsoft or not. .NET friendly organization, knowing that the entire framework is open source, you can uh, anyone can go to this GitHub link. I'll share that link. .NET Core, github.com/.NET/core. If we go there, we can see the code, that .NET Core complete code, and then we can even contribute to that. So that's an open source code even. So whatever a developer wants to change or fix anything, they can easily do it. So like even a non-Microsoft employees can do that. So .NET is a matured framework and widely used programming language. So .NET Core leverage a matured framework and support widely used programming language like C# and F#. This familiarities accelerate development and ensures a robust ecosystem. The .NET framework has been around 20 years. This means that millions of apps in different domains were developed with it. It proves its flaws and strengths. Um, it is the C# is the third most used programming language of the year, meaning that C# has lot of supports and large community of users. So C# is widely used even nowadays, or like earlier also. Most we have many applications that were created using C#. Okay, support for wide range of application types. So let it be like whether you are building a APIs, microservices, or cloud-based solution, .NET Core provides the necessary tools and libraries. So it is very easy. Like we have already, if you say we want to integrate some security features, that the libraries are all already available for that, and we just need to extend those classes and methods to um, build our like security features, to add the security features. If you want to add some if you want to add a new database or change the existing database connections, then that can be easily done. The libraries are already available. We just need to put the connection strings and other details, and then we can directly use that. So these features are like very much available in .NET. They are very really easy for developer to include all of them, no matter what the business domain of an application is. At a certain point of it might be valuable to develop a whole suite of other apps revolving around it. This can reach different markets and end users. With the .NET framework, you have the ability to develop it in multitude of domains such as gaming, mobile, IoT, and AI. Sorry, with the .NET Core framework. Okay, when it comes to using free libraries, you can choose from millions of public and private packages on NuGet and MyGet. So these are the package libraries that we can use to import the public and private libraries. The class libraries that we have, we can use them. So you can also integrate them to other apps by using IDE or CLI. We can even use the IDEs and CLI to download and use those packages or libraries. Coming to securities with .NET Core. So .NET offers a wide range of easy to use mechanism for authentication, authorization, and data protection and attack prevention. So for data protection, APIs and secret managers along with Azure Key Vault provider, uh, we can use protecting data, generate keys, rotate keys, and um, using those to enhance the securities. So moreover, you can build on top of these APIs like Key Vault providers and others by extending them to cover the business scenarios you need. In terms of authentication, ASP.NET Core Identity allows you to integrate your app with all major external providers. So we have, like as I said earlier, like there are different libraries for including security features. So ASP.NET Core Identity is one of them that allows you to integrate your app with all major external providers. For external provider like Facebook, Google, uh, WS Federation, Windows, or two-factor authentication might be valid requirement for real-life scenarios. So all these things we can include using ASP.NET Core Identity. There are different methods we can use to include those security features in our applications. Okay, coming to .NET Core enables flexibility. So the flexible for a business means to ability to evolve, change vision and goals, and adapt easy to different external scenarios. In terms of code and choosing for the right framework, we are talking about database and infrastructure mainly. So database, being able to switch to another kind of database and reuse the code already written is something impossible to do in some frameworks, because the frameworks come as a package with the language and preferred tools. The database being part of it, changing it can be dictated by the performance need, licensing cost and scalability, hosting options, and even other business domain. So infrastructure, a new and modern infrastructure can be added through throughput, minimize downtimes, and sustain reliable business. So .NET Core gives us the freedom to take advantage of new infrastructure technologies that runs on Linux, such as Kubernetes and Docker. So this database and infrastructure I told, these are the challenges, and both these challenges are resolved by .NET Core. Like we can switch between the database and the infrastructure also. Like we can deploy it on any platform, and we can use even containerization to deploy our application. Okay, so .NET is a cost effective also. So by avoiding licensing cost associated with Windows only hosting, .NET Core helps manage expenses. So for development tools also, like IDs, few years ago, Microsoft developed Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code can be used for commercial apps. This is this was so good, small and extensible, and updated that comes the preferred ID even for front-end developers who are using IDs that need a paid license. So using Visual Studio Code, we can develop a wide range of applications like for front end also, even React, Angular, all these are supported on Visual Studio Code. We just need to download the extension and we can use it. So for like Visual Studio, we can uh, have the community editions and the enterprise and professional. So community edition is always free and it doesn't require any licensing and all. So we can use it for like our we can use it without any cost. So in terms of infrastructure with .NET Core and multitude of hosting options, you have the freedom to switch to Linux and to pick up a provider of your choice that offers you a great SLA or is cheaper. Furthermore, you can choose to host your application in the cloud by relying on the services of cloud partner such as Azure. In terms of database and storage, you have unlimited option. You are not forced to use big paid solutions, so you can go with easily with the something that is open source like post PostgRE SQL. So there are different options we have of like methods that directly link with the database, and then we can use it. So these are very so .NET Core is very cost effective. .NET Core has large community, as I discussed earlier. Like there are 30,000 people that are contributing to this open source, and more than 3,000 plus companies that are like supporting this .NET Core. Uh, when a framework is used by many developer and business, it means that it must have something good to attract them. It also provides stability and high level of trust for the community, even more if it is not something that is super new, mainstream, and that everyone wants to try. Under the .NET Foundation umbrella, passionate peoples that work in different domains with different expertise and know how contribute and share ideas, shaping thus the way of application comes to life. So, and the next more important part is like .NET important advantages. Like .NET Core was created by Microsoft. Having such a big corporation behind framework doesn't mean that you will need to pay for everything you use from them, tools or language or IDs. So there are many free tools available. I said .NET Visual Studio Code is one of them. It means that you have guaranteed that all the good ideas that comes from the developers communities will see the light of the day and as soon as possible. They will sometimes be bundled with coolest paradigms out there. As a result, you'll get the most modern, flexible, and well-maintained framework you can get for an application. So when it is like comes under the umbrella of Microsoft. So these all benefits you'll get. .NET Core enables top app performance. So with optimization and lightweight components, .NET Cores enable high performance application. In recent year, .NET term has been heavily advertised. ASP.NET Core is one of the fastest web frameworks on the market. We can see the performance comparison here on our next slide. We can see that. So this is for .NET 5 performance. Now we have .NET 8 available in, that was last release was .NET 8 on 2000 November 2023 last year. So you see this Java servlet supply, like it can have 2.17 million requests per second, but .NET is having 7.01 million requests per second. So it is 10x faster than Node.js, almost 0.66 million requests per second it will serve. So using the same server size, .NET can support more requests per second than any other like available uh, like any other frameworks like Java Servlet or Node.js. So these are some of the frameworks that supports. So Rust is 50,000, .NET is 48, then Go 47,000 requests per second, C++ and Java. Okay, any questions till now? Because this is the basic things that we have discussed. Now we'll see the different versions of .NET, then we can go ahead and create some of the applications. And like this first application that we'll create. So you see these are the different version of .NET released. Like .NET, it was .NET Core 1.0 was first released on 2016, 27th June, and then on different years we have like 17 .NET Core 2.0, and with .NET 5 that was released on November 2020. From here it was the core word was skipped and we have only .NET, and then we have every year we have new version that like on 2021 6 .NET 6 was released, 2022 .NET 7 was released, and 2023 it was .NET 8. So every year on the month of November we will have a new version released of .NET, and the patches used to come after that. So we can see these are the long-term support. .NET 5 has long-term support, and now .NET 8 also has long-term support for that. So these are the different releases of .NET. Okay. Now we are going to see, like, we'll create one application, and so for before that, like what all tool we will be using for this training, that is Visual Studio. Okay, so I can share you the link to download Visual Studio. You need to download this community um, edition, and with .NET Visual Studio 2022, .NET 8 is already the SDK required for development is already present. So once you download that, you can start using that. Okay. You can see my screen, right? Hello.
Yes, we can see.
You can still see the PowerPoint or the window changed?
Just the
Just the
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint only, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I have shared only the PowerPoint. One minute, I'm just sharing. Can you see the Google Chrome now?
Yes. Yes.
So I'll share this link where we can download this Visual Studio. So we'll be using Visual Studio for development purpose. Okay, so you can download it from here, Community Edition for 2020, 2022, and that will be like come with. So you all are using Windows system, right?
I am using Mac.
I'm also.
Okay. So both, I mean, it will be pretty much similar. I'm using Windows, so I'll be using Visual Studio 2022 on Windows system. Okay, so you can download it from here. On next class, we can like start on the development. I'll show you few things today, and then like from the next class we can continue. So this is the Visual Studio. When you'll go and see the create project, these are the templates that are already created. Like if we want to create any web APIs, we'll have the options, different options to create web APIs. Like we'll see these things, but for now we can see what all language it supports. It, the most widely used is C sharp, and then C++, F sharp, and these are there. So why C sharp? Because it supports like it is more object oriented programming language. So that's why C sharp is more widely used. And for platform, we can see Android, Azure, iOS. So applications we can create for all of this platform. And the project types are like what kind of application that we want to create, API and cloud-based application, console, desktop, extensions, games, IoT. So this MAUI and all this any unit, MS Test Mobile. So based if we select any of this, we'll get the respective templates available. So if we see API, then we'll have ASP.NET Core Web API and Web API Native AOT. So these are the templates that are available. We can create them. Select all project type. So I'll create a console application today. Okay, we'll go ahead and click next. You can name the project first project, and there is an option to. Okay, this is fine. We'll go to next to have only the, if we say do not use the top level statement, if we uncheck this, then we'll only be getting console.write line. The classes name and namespace name will not be available, but we need all of them. So we'll just click check that checkbox, and we'll create it. Now see, so this is a namespace, and this is the class. This is how, if we the first, this is a basic the template for console application. So if we'll run this, if we run this, it will write hello world for us. Hello world. So now we'll see what all like mm, we'll see using and namespace. What is an using and namespace? Okay. So here that using part is not shown. I'll just write it down. Using system. So this console is comes under system namespace. Okay. So these are the class libraries that we are using, or the namespace that we are using system. So see, this is the namespace system, and this is a class console. So this console is for writing and reading from the data that is present in console. That is where it is used for. This is the method that is used to write into console, write line, and read line or read is used to read from the console. Okay, coming to using using is in C sharp, we have the using keyword to import external resources like namespace, classes, etc. We can use using to import that in our application. Okay, or the program that we are uh, writing. Okay, here we are importing the system namespace inside our program system. We have already shown this, right? We are importing this or using system namespaces in our program. So for that, we are writing using system. So if we, what is the problem if we are not writing this using system? Then we have to use the um, we have to use the fully qualified name. So what I mean by fully qualified name, so let us write create one namespace or create one folder inside our project. Say we'll create it as model folder. We'll have one, we'll create one class here. Just to show like what will happen if we will not use this using. We create one employee class. Okay, so we'll just give few things like prop employee string name. Okay, and we'll have one properties that is name, and we'll say what employee does, we print that name. Void print employee name. So this is a method that we are having. Okay, we'll say console dot write line employee name is name. So now if you want to use this particular thing in our project, particular class or the namespace, then we have to use using first project dot model. Okay, then if we say employee equal to new, we are instantiating that class, and say employee dot name equal to say John, and employee dot print employee name. So if we run this program now, we'll get the name John. Employee name is John. Okay, so that is how we use the namespaces. What if we don't use this? We'll get an error. Okay, so if we still want to use this employee, then we have to give the fully qualified name. That is first project dot model dot employee, and this should be used here also. So we have to give the complete name or the fully qualified name every time. So instead of this, if we write just using, then that will be like our the developer speed and life will be much more easier if we directly use that using the namespace name. Okay. Any question? Hello.
No.
Okay. So we can use directly the static classes also. Like this is a namespace that we are using. We can use the classes also by using static system dot math. So this system dot math is a class, and we are directly importing that. If you go and see, this is a class. Don't worry about this partial. We'll see in our upcoming classes what is partial, what is static, what is public. This is an access modifier. All these things we'll see. So this is basically a class. We are directly using the class here. Okay, and we can say we can directly use the static methods of this class. Like square root is one of the method. We can say double root equal to sq square root of say in 121 right line root. Run this program, we'll have 11. Okay, so we'll get it directly. We can directly use that method, static methods. We'll go and check what is the static method is. This is an static method, so we can directly use that. Okay, so this is about using. Then coming to namespaces. So namespaces are used in C# to organize and provide a level of separation of codes. They can be considered as a container which consists of other namespaces, classes, etc. And namespaces can have namespaces, that is nested namespaces, classes, interface structures, delegates. So this will in today's class we'll just check about the classes and namespaces. Interface structures, delegates we'll see later. So that is out of scope for now. Namespaces are not mandatory in C# programming, but they do play an important role in writing cleaner code and managing larger projects. So if we compare a namespace with a real life scenario, now we'll say when we have a large number of files in a folder in our computer, imagine how difficult it will be to manage them if we are placed in a single directory. So all these types of files will be present inside one particular folder. So that will be very difficult to figure out that. So instead, what we used to do, we used to have different directories for um, different kind of files, and then we will place it. So that is why we put it in a related files and folder in a separate directory. This help us to manage our data properly. So the concept of namespaces is similar in C#. It helps us to organize different members by putting related members in the same namespace. Namespace also solves the problem of naming conflicts. Two or more classes, when put in to different namespaces, can have same name. So if we have another, so this is I have created one model folder here, and inside that employee CS, employee class is there. So when we'll be creating real life or like projects, there we will have one model classes, and we'll have data access class and data access layer. So where we have the same employee DTO class, where we can have one more method is print employee name. So both with the methods name are same, but when they are on different namespaces, then we can use the same name, same method name inside the different namespaces. So if we'll see this, the namespaces has changed. The namespaces for employee.cs class is first project.model, whereas the namespace for program is only first project. So this Visual Studio automatically does that. We don't need to. When we created this employee.cs, when we added that, it simply created this namespace. Okay, so this automatically take care. If we want to create another namespace inside this, that also we can do. So all this flexibility are there with the developer. So basically, it is a container where we can keep our code, so that our code is much more cleaner and maintainable. So how do we uh, name the namespace? Syntax for this is namespace and the name of the namespace. And how do we call this namespaces? We using dot first project dot model. Okay. So there is one more thing. Uh, we will be looking into the next classes, like what all the basic things, the variables, keywords, and all. So before that, do you have any query on this using and namespaces? Yeah, I stopped sharing. Shashank, Krish.
I don't have any question.
So one more thing, do you guys have any feedback? Like if you want to improve something, then I can look into that, or is it is fine? Like the pace and all, how I'm going is fine.
Yeah, it's active.
Okay. So there is one more thing I want to share. Uh, Second. So this is what I have prepared. I'll share you this in this chat only. Hmm. This is the link where you can download the Visual Studio. Okay, so there is an option for Mac also. If you go ahead and select on this Community 2022, there will be for Mac. Can you check this link is working and you can download it? An installer will be downloaded. Hello,
Yeah.
Chris. So you have Mac, right?
Yeah. I
So
already have the Visual Studio in my
okay,
Mac.
okay, you have, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
which edition? Like 2022?
It's 2022. Yeah,
Okay.
the
So can you
latest
check
version.
like you have .NET 8? You can create any project and check that which version of .NET
Uh,
is coming. I'll share once again and can show you that. So create new project.
Actually, we're doing something on the console application, like just
Hmm.
normal operations, something like that. Yeah, it's working. I can create
So
projects. I
you
can write some code using the
uh,
C sharp. Yeah, but I don't know what. Let's
.NET
check
8,
that.
.NET 8. Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
You see the framework .NET 8.0 long-term support. Are you getting this?
this second I will check that. Don't
Yeah.
know. Application.
So that is on the second page, like
Uh,
additional information.
no, I have the .NET 7.0.
That is also fine. 7.0 is also fine. You can
Okay,
do one thing. You can yeah, install the .NET 8 SDK.
okay,
So that will then you can use .NET Core 8
okay.
long-term support. Okay,
Sure,
so
I will do that. Yeah.
I wanted to share one more thing. This is the one. This is the new topics and the training list I have created. What all I'm going to cover. So in this as this does not include the Azure part. I'm still looking for that Azure. like what all topics I need to cover. These all the basic and the advanced training I have. I will complete it in 19 days. That are having the this contains the few more details from what we have in the older one. So I have removed some of the basic topics and added the more advanced one, like this object-oriented programming. These are the basic, and from here file handling. These are the advanced topic. So here I have also included this ASP.NET Core, ASP.NET MVC, and ASP.NET Web API. So all these things, the overview and basics thing, will cover it in one days, and for MVC and Web APIs will be using 3 and 5 days. Will These are the basic things like routing, data passing techniques, views, XN results, HTML helper. All these things will look into these basic things in 1 or 2 days or 3 days. And then for web APIs, most of these things will be similar to MVC. We'll try to complete the web API pipe. Like what all we don't cover it in MVC, we'll cover it here. Like HTTP methods, binding, model binding, we'll do it in web API. And then once we complete all of these topics, then we can create that. We are still left with 10 uh, 15 days, where 5 days I can spend on the Azure part, the basic things, and then we can another 10 days we'll have to create our sample microservices kind of application, that e-commerce application that we'll be creating. Using microservices, we'll use that. We'll have different APIs and one MVC application where we'll be using all the APIs to um, integrate it, and then we'll have our application ready. So it will be kind of microservices. Not a kind of, it will be a microservices only. We'll have different API like cart, coupon, and all. We'll have. Okay. Uh, so that's all. If you can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I've lost that. Hmm. Okay, so that's all I have for today. We can discuss tomorrow on the topics. I'll share that with Kumar. He can share it with you, and in another 2 days I'll prepare the Azure one also.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Kumar. Can you stop the recording? Yeah, it's fine. Then we can wind up for today. Thank
Yeah,
you so
sure.
much. Yeah.